when you grow up with it and your parents grow up with it, they know the value in the games. And my dad sometimes didn't still, right? So when I started playing League, I was like, he's like, well, that's useless. Like, you're not gonna be able to do anything with that. Just like, it's just kind of like having fun. I'm like, no, you're wrong.
When he shows me the numbers on how fast esports is growing, I thought, I wonder if I could get that approved.
He wants to fight against that cliche, if you will, that it's not sports when it actually is. I mean, you have to be very keen of your attention and your reflexes, and that takes muscles.
Competition is embedded in human DNA. From the beginnings of history, we'd have chariot races and gladiator fights to decide who the best of the best was. Time passed, people evolved, and so did their forms of competition. Of course, everyone knows and loves sports. It advanced competition. It was no longer just who was strongest or who was fastest. It brought strategy to it. Now, video games are advancing competition even more. Competitive video gaming, also known as esports, is one of the fastest growing industries, according to Newzoo. Newzoo predicts esports to be $1 billion industry by 2019, with viewership numbers climbing over $500 million by then as well. The newly launched Overwatch League, ran by Blizzard Entertainment, requires their players to be paid at least $50,000 by the team owners, with most salaries in 6 figures. Much like traditional sports leagues, 2 teams come together, people come to watch, and the winner takes home a trophy. Only difference is, the teams aren't playing on a field, they're playing on a virtual field using their computers. According to Newzoo, over 50% of esports viewers are from Asia, but America still has their fair share of fans. Riot Games' League of Legends series and Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch League both take place in the Los Angeles area. Naturally, more fans of esports are in California because of it, which, of course, brings me to Noblesville, Indiana. While esports isn't as well known here, Noblesville is one of the country's first high school esports programs, all created in teacher Don Wettrick's innovations class.
One day I got this email that it was a Daniel Pink TED Talk, and he started talking about what motivated people. And what motivated people wasn't money, it was mastery, autonomy, and purpose. And I was like, what would happen if I did that same approach but in education?
Wettrick's innovations class has garnered a lot of attention around the country, gaining him a social media following and features in Forbes as well. Despite dropping video gaming recently, Wettrick used to game as much as his own esports team.
Last time I really played a decent amount of video games, I was playing Quake 2, and it was damaging my eyeballs. And so my wife at the time, this is before kids, and she was working at the night shift on labor and delivery. And I'll always remember the last day I played, she's like, "Good night, honey, I love you too." I log on. I play for maybe an hour or so, and all of a sudden I hear her come into the house. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing home?" She's like, "I've been gone for 9 hours. Please don't tell me you've been playing video games this whole time." And I'm like, "I forgot to go to bed." And I forgot to go to bed.
While video gaming might not be for him anymore, Wettrick sees the potential in esports more than most.
So I'm 45, and I was talking to somebody that's probably in their 50s, and I was talking about the emergence of esports and how popular it's getting. And I'm like, well, it sold out Madison Square Garden in less than an hour. He goes, no. Because, you know, it made sense of maybe Korea because they don't understand real football kind of thing. And I said, well, sold out MSG here in the United States in less than an hour. And he's like, you mean to tell me that people paid money to sit on a seat and watch somebody play a game? Then it occurred to him, the same as everything else. You paid money to sit down and watch somebody else play a game. And in that moment, like, even this 50-year-old guy was like, okay, I get it.
The class has been a huge success for Wettrick, the school, and the many students in it, including Ryan Haas, a student who came to Wettrick with an idea that would make a huge impact.
I gave him some statistics about esports, like their growth, like as an emerging industry, like the money coming in, the amount of interest, and just the exponential growth it's had. And it blew his mind.
So I oversee a lot of different budgets for the library, and Noblesville, give them credit, they had this vision of the library being more than just books. They see it as an innovation center. So we have whiteboards, we have collaboration centers, we have movable furniture, but we also didn't have any coding computers down here, and that had been on my mind already. And so when he shows me the numbers on how fast esports is growing, I thought, I wonder if I could get that approved. One, because if it's my job to prepare my kids for the future, there's a big future in esports, especially as Ryan laid out.
So we had around $30,000, I think, to spend on the computers. This is within 2 days. I told him the idea. I come back down the next period, so an hour and a half later, and he gets off the phone and says, "Hey, we just secured your funds for your esports team."
We're so lucky that our IT director, or one of the directors for the school, is a big, World of Warcraft guy. So he was like, okay.
From there it would be going over like the budget, creating like a price list, and deciding exactly what we wanted for our team. Like just technical wise, like the computers, the headsets, the mics, the keyboards.
And the other thing is, like, we wanted to make it educational. We could have just simply gone through our vendor and said, this is Alienware. But we wanted to make it educational in the sense that we wanted everything to be assembled. We wanted to do the right components. We wanted to, make it a cool experience. And so he laid out like what was the best bang for the buck. Spend a little extra money on the graphics card and not the headset, or a tower is a tower. Don't waste too much money on liquid cooled, blah, 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 but just, he was giving us that kind of information.
And from there, I kind of formed my inner circle of like interested students that would work with me, like on the administrative side, to make sure everything ran smoothly. And we held a call out, had about 120 kids come down, and the tryout process began.
What happened was, so I had a group of friends, right? And we all played League of Legends, and Ryan and Don went around and they were asking people, they were surveying, they're like, so who plays these games, X, Y, and Z? Like, who's ever heard of League of Legends? And my friend Jacob Zay was like, wait a minute, I got surveyed by that the other day. I think they're trying to start up an esports program. And I was like, all right, I'm jumping right on this, because at that point I was like the best player in my friend group. I'm like, I got this. And so I go to Don, I talk to him, and they have no idea what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and then that they're trying to start the program, but they know they're gonna need help, because Ryan played a lot of CSGO and he was really good at it. He didn't play League of Legends, no idea how it worked. So during the starting process of it, I helped run a lot of the tryouts and like organize who played where and how different things worked. And I helped organize the team, so I gave people sheets to fill out so the teams could preemptively know how to work with each other.
No one can blame Wettrick and Haas for needing help from Hancock on the League of Legends front. The game is complicated. Attempting to understand the game in one sitting is not recommended, but I'll try to explain it as simply as possible. League of Legends is a MOBA, or a multiplayer online battle arena. It is a 5 versus 5 online game where you control one character or champion. The goal is for your team to use skill, advantages, and teamwork to destroy your opponent's base by defeating objectives and your opponents themselves. Victory! Your champion has 4 different abilities to use to kill minions, jungle monsters, towers, and especially your opponents. The complicated part is this: there are 137 champions in League of Legends, each with different abilities, goals, and strengths to learn. But much like traditional sports, every player has their own specific role or position to fill on their team.
I play top lane. It's a lot like say a lineman for football or something like that. Like, my job is to lay down the CC and basically prepare the opponents for everybody else to do damage. So it's kind of like a lineman, getting to the ball and being there up front, or like an offensive lineman, pushing everybody out the way. I gotta not only protect Ben, the people that do the damage, and I also have to get to the enemy so that way my team can do damage to them.
As the jungler, you're essentially playing like midfielder in soccer. You're able to either go on the offensive, go on the defensive. You're never really set in stone into one position, but you're kind of like watching over the entirety of the game and the macro and just looking over like the top instead of working on one position where you're goalie and you're solely focused on that. So jungle is kind of like the wild card essentially, where you can go and do anything anywhere.
I'm basically in the mid lane. What the mid lane does is basically my job is to contain my laner from basically roaming around the map, causing havoc in other lanes. And also my job is also to obviously cause havoc for the other team. And if successfully, it can be a really big game change.
Well, I play ADC. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm like the wide receiver, I guess. I do the damage. Yeah, I do the damage. That's basically it. I don't really do anything for like 10 minutes. I don't really do anything, but then I hit that like that point in the game where it's like I actually do something, and then and then I do a lot of damage.
So I'm the support on the team. I'm grouped with the AD carry on the team, and really I'm just the glue guy. I'm the utility guy. I'm really like a point guard in basketball. I'm there to facilitate and make sure that all the little things go smoothly for the team, but I'm not supposed to be the LeBron James. I'm not the one trying to make the big plays.
Noblesville's League of Legends team has one more position off the field, and that is the head coach. Noah Hankinson is a college student who has gone from League of Legends player to League of Legends coach.
On a day-to-day basis, I'm communicating with the team. We practice each and every day for our upcoming matchups. I'll have a scouting report prepared a week before our game. So that week going into practice, pretty much that scouting reports of the other team, of each individual player, really so the players can look at and see their individual matchups, right? So they can see what they need to work on this week, what they know going forward, because our composition and what champions we would play is going to vary based off of what they've been recently playing and what we know will work against them.
I didn't think it was going to be much of an impact. I didn't think coaches were, like, I guess, that helpful in video games.
When Noah came in, he said he was signed by TSM and all that, and honestly I didn't believe him at first. I was really skeptical. I didn't really think he was actually like, I thought he was fake.
I didn't really know like what a coach really would have done for us, because it's tough, you know. I mean, esports is a really hard thing to break down. At least with like football, with all the like lower leagues and everything like that, it's kind of like a dad can do it, because it's really set in like what you're supposed to do. You can watch NFL and everybody knows kind of what you're supposed to do. But I thought esports would be a little more tough. But now I mean, we've proved so much ever since we just had him for a couple months now. And it's not only like just him improving us, the fact he's just like reaching out to people and like finding tournaments for us, like just having somebody to like manage your team and do all that for you and also get us better it's been done miles for our team, if you ask me.
We have an entire expectations sheet that everybody signed, just like you would in a traditional sport level.
I'm a little disappointed that nobody has their sheet and 4 JV guys have it. Just saying, okay?
I made basic stuff with them, like, hey, look, I'm gonna put random drug tests in. I'm gonna check your grades. All of these requirements that don't exist, right? Because there's no IHSAA of esports. So that's pretty much what I instilled in this program. There are guidelines, there are requirements, there are punishment, and consequences for actions. And really, it was a rough start, honestly, just from a relationship level among the players. And I don't say that harshly or condemning, because we really, honestly, grew like a plant from that immediately. Hey, that timing of that rotation is perfect, by the way. Yeah, so I really do believe that League of Legends specifically is the best esport to correlate to traditional sports in a number of ways. So you mentioned your normal practice that you have in traditional sports, right? I'll spend maybe a whole practice in basketball going over shooting drills. You can apply the same thing to League of Legends in that basic mechanic drills, right?
We'll have scrims, and it'll be a best of 3 scrims, and it's always against a team that's insanely better than us, because Nova's like, I want you guys to lose, and I want you guys to know how to lose gracefully, or how to turn it back, potentially. And he'll listen in on comms, and by comms I mean voice communication. So during games he'll just sit in and listen. He'll know what the environment is, and he can tell when the mood shifts. He'll see what's the problem when you guys lose one fight. What's the first thing that comes to your head, and then how are we going to move forward from that next time and not do it again?
Dab me up, dab me up.
One of the bigger complaints about esports and video games in general is the health aspect. From the start, Wettrick wanted to make sure the teams avoided a typical gaming stereotype.
When we first announced we had an esports team, the level of hate and vitriol online was like, so you got a bunch of fat, stupid kids, and you're going to encourage them to be fatter and dumber. And I was like, okay, let's completely defy what they had to say. So our grade point average to be on the team was rigorous, and B, for every one day we practice, we should be outside or do something. You know, I'm not having to go in there and, you know, bench press 225, but I'm like, let's just be active. So yeah, we had a healthy balance to put to the people that were making fun of it, like, aha, joke's on you, they also work out, so.
And that's what people say. They're like, why are you teaching people esports? It's just teaching them how to like sit and play more video games. But people don't realize, I mean, we all take care of ourselves, and we're still kids. We still like to go out and have fun, play some frisbee. I think the stigma about the fact that we're all nerds and we're fat and we're unathletic it's a little incorrect. And so we like to really prove that by kind of doing these events.
I was gonna say that I don't really like working out because I'd rather be playing the game, but his argument was pretty good, so I can't really say anything now.
Working out is definitely, maybe if not the most important, one of the most important components. So in esports, working out, building those cortisol levels, making sure you're getting your heart rate up, getting active, playing games like Ultimate Frisbee, basketball, things that make you make decisions very quickly.
You're getting filmed, Jay. Come on. You got dogged on. What are you talking about?
They're saying they beat me in Ultimate Frisbee. Not true. Not true. I outplayed them like multiple times. No, I'm just saying how like terrible League of Legends player you are, but a horrible. You're such a terrible Ultimate Frisbee player and League of Legends player. So I can't give you credit on either.
Disclaimer.
Whoa,
disclaimer. I was the other captain, right? And we won pretty much the entire game.
Whoa. Wait, didn't we finish that series tied? Yeah. That was a tied series.
You want to play a point?
What's that throw? Go only twice. Just can't take it down. Gotcha.
I was curious to see what exactly the players' families thought of their children staying after school to practice video games every day. So I headed over to Daniel Hancock's house to see what a video game family is like.
Sorry. Alright, Mr. Big.
I got excited and I hit Crazed Viper. That's Daniel.
Do it.
Right away, hard-hitting. Who is the best gamer in the family?
Straight up? That's gotta be Mom. I think I'm
I have been playing since, oh man, I'm old. Since you would log in on the computer and you would play part of the game and then you'd log off and somebody else would log on, and we played like that way back then when we first got computers. Alien, zombies, whatever. You like are attacking the Earth, and there's only so many people that are left, and we're trying to save them. And they've got all different kinds of different husks. They have fire husks and elemental energy, nature. We met playing EverQuest. It was the first huge, massive, multi-MMORPG. I was a dark elf enchantress, and he was a barbarian shaman. He tried to tell me how to play my character, and I told him where he could put it. And then another guy got in the group, and he was being a real big jerk, and I said, hey, you've got competition for Jerk of the Year award, and we just started talking, and 4 months later we were married, and it's been 17 and a half, almost 18 years now.
It's a really interesting environment because like when you grow up with it and your parents grow up with it, they know the value in the games. And my dad sometimes didn't still, right? So when I started playing League, I was like, he's like, well, that's useless. Like, you're not gonna be able to do anything with that. Just like, it's just kind of like having fun. I'm like, no, you're wrong. Because while it is a game-filled house, they didn't understand the idea of esports because that wasn't existent back then.
What do you have to say to parents that might not want their kids to be on the Noblesville Esports team?
I think that if they're concerned, they should go and watch and see what it is the kids do, see the camaraderie and the teamwork. I mean, people don't have any issue with their kids being on the football team or the basketball team, baseball, and they can get injured worse than they can playing on the esports team. But they have that camaraderie. They have that teamwork, and teamwork is so important.
Yeah, it's because. Hey.
Yeah, no.
We've been given credit? What?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard him tell anyone that, oh yeah, my brother's the one that got me into league. Oh yeah, my brother's the one that told me I should play this. Oh yeah, you know.
Well, it's kind of funnier because so they only ever hear the good things, right? So like anytime you do something good, there's like just clapping on the sidelines, you know, like Grandpa's over there with like the megaphone. Go Daniel!
I just run low on ammo. We've always been the mind that, you know, the family that plays together stays together. Yay!
I never thought we would make it to this place. Pancake house. Oh, we did it.
Driving in like 100 miles an hour through the rain.
So we jumped into that tournament and we're like, all right, the first thing we want to do is we want varsity and JV to play each other in the finals. We're like, I think, because we got placed in different sides of the bracket, so that could happen. We're like, we want this really badly. Sadly, JV didn't make it.
You know, AK, right? So like a year ago, I would have never saw this. Here we are.
Yeah, no, I knew from day one.
Yeah.
IUPUI has been awesome in the sense that they got it early, and I think that they'll have some cool panache that they offered at a tournament, but I think my squad's going to win.
All right, so in Chicago last year, we had a team that we didn't really practice with a lot, and we weren't that good, and we had a really toxic player, and so we lost to Oswego, not because they were better than us, but because he just kind of like gave up halfway through the game.
Literally turned his mouth.
So I want to go in today, and I just want to rail him, like.
And Andy wasn't playing, right?
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Kind of like my beautiful wife.
Us three were not playing.
Oh, jeez. Who was support?
We're about like a million times better team right now. Yeah, we're going to go in today, and we're just going to slam them. They're going to fear the name Noblesville High School.
Looking forward to playing? I'm looking forward to definitely playing Oswego because they were the team we lost to in Chicago because our team back then, we were like so bad. Because we had like a bunch of different players and like, we have a coach now. We have Noah, obviously, and he's like really good, and I feel like he's really helped us a lot. So I'm really looking forward to facing Oswego and hopefully beating them.
You can play against Eastside or Oswego. I think Eastside is the easier pick, but Oswego is somebody that I really want to beat because I want to go, like, it's honestly just I want to go back and I just want to show them, like, we're better. I'm sorry. So it's personal.
What's the best pre-League of Legends meal?
I mean, I just drink a protein shake and I go. That's it.
3 raw eggs.
Yeah.
Smack down 3 raw eggs.
Usually what I do is
That's so gross.
I wake up at 3 in the morning and I just boom, hand into the ground, pull the potato out, and then just eat it right there, raw. So.
And then you play League of Legends at 5 in the morning?
It's 3 in the morning, yeah.
3.
Question now, we're in here, I'm a little bit nervous that our cars might get towed. So I kind of feel like we should go move the cars.
Can't wait. I like my first day. You know, we gotta have a say the last best of the group. So, I'm walking up there.
I prefer land because you actually get to talk to the people afterwards and understand there's no hard feelings a lot of the time. When we had the Chicago tournament last year, we actually got to talk to a lot of the players that we played against, and it wasn't just like, they weren't mad about that they lost or anything. They were just like, they were hanging out. So you actually get to know the players, you get to know the faces behind all the names, and it's interesting to actually meet the people.
I'm going to pick the
I prefer live, probably much more because it's much more exciting. Because it's like, oh yeah, now I'm here. People like can see you, and like, I feel like it's a lot more organized when it's live because like online it's like, oh, some person's late or like something. It's like this, like we all came here together, so you can't obviously be late.
So we're just kind of playing mind games right now, seeing how it goes.
We haven't played anything really that's like as big as this. This is in like a big gym, so I hope the nerves don't get too bad.
So where are we keeping the trophy if we win?
Putting it in the room. We gotta find some spot in the
Literally,
practice room.
there's all those shelves in the practice room that we can put it on.
It has to be like
Somebody
an
might
elevated,
steal it.
Like an elevated, like if you get like a glass case. Oswego just beat Eastside in the first game. We got automatically advanced because our matchup didn't show up. So we'll be playing Oswego here in about 2 hours. So right now we're just getting warmed up just on these PCs over here, just so we can get used to it, work on a little bit of things. It's kind of interesting because Oswego's on the direct opposite side, so won't go like too much into like detail and talk with them being right there. But yeah, we'll definitely be ready. So.
Hello? 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 How loud do I have to talk for you guys to hear me? We win this as a 2v2. No, we don't. Not if he keeps throwing those. Yeah, try to clear this out. I'm going to stand here for you. So they're going to try and win using this Aurelia as long as Wyatt can like sustain. Wait, you were going to... Oh.
I didn't have it.
I thought you said you had ult. Wyatt's like really quiet for me.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Then the goal is we're gonna have to sit back and don't do anything, don't engage anything. I have Zeke's conversion for Andy. That's gonna be game. Their solo laners are really good with their waves. Like they're better than like everybody but our bot lane with their waves. So they're better at managing it and then also not losing CS when they roam. So it's kind of a problem.
Their timing was perfect too.
Yeah. So it's kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here. What?
Honestly though.
What?
Why? I think you did the best you could. That was just annoying. Alright, so just lost 2-0 to Oswego. Nothing really like special about the losses, just I think it's a mixture of like nerve and we're kind of conforming to how they want us to play instead of just playing how we know how to play. I do agree with them. I feel like we need to play what we know we can play. I feel like we need to play to our tempo too.
We're not playing our game. Yeah. Like, how many times did you go into their jungle?
How many times did someone talk about vision? Hearing words, buying control words. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I mean, we've won games like this before just because we've been better at mechanics. We're not better at mechanics this time, so we got to get smarter.
Daniel is just a very caring person, and so he's not satisfied to just be his best. He wants to be his best all the time. It's not that he's competing against everybody else. He's constantly competing against himself.
I was expecting to win just because I know we prepared more, practiced more than all those other teams, but they are really good teams. They punished us when we made real minute mistakes.
I'm ready to go home. I got a headache.
Honestly, I was expecting to win, so obviously it's a little bit disappointing. But looking forward, once you kind of get out of like the mental state of like the initial loss, there was a lot of glaring errors we made that I think we've improved in the past, but I think we didn't really perform today. So it's highlighting really well the things that we need to work on. So, you know, there's other tournaments.
It was, you know, the entire team that lost, not one individual person. Again, we played really well. Like, honestly, we played really well. We just made some fine mistakes here and there that kind of cost us. But then moving forward, hey, we've got three more tournaments with, goodness, over $90,000 more. So, and we're also leading in all of those tournaments. So, just because you lose one, come in third. I mean, we didn't lose. We came in third. So, again, I'm not satisfied with third. But 3, 2, 1.
These kids want to brand this as dominant as Carmel's girls swimming. Then when people think of esports, they go, oh, well, at Noblesville, they, and then it'll be everybody else.
I want kids to be able to like balance like school, like physical activity and esports. That's the goal of it. We kind of want to make like traditional sports because you want to serve that underserved community. You want to have kids come in and like make new friends, get better at their game. And I mean, if they're up there, yeah, get a scholarship from a college. That's like the real goal, right?
Our goal is we're trying to set up esports programs in high schools so that then those high schools can give those children the opportunity to move forward into colleges and have professional careers.
That makes me very proud of him because he is continually trying to learn and get better. And I'm one of those that I know that I don't know it all. And so to continually learn each day is exactly, and that's kind of the definition of being able to be happy, is to continue learning.
And that's just, the funny thing is I have nothing to do with that. I just help start this up. I'm not training them to be better. I'm just here, and yet I'm so hyper competitive, maybe because I'm 5'8", I don't know. But I'm like, so we're gonna be the best.
Yeah, no, no, no.